Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Mike Plays RP1. RP1 is the mod pack that turns Kerbal Space Program into a much more realistic space simulator with a real scale solar system, historical missions, and much more historically accurate parts. And if you are interested in playing RP1 for yourself, you'll find all the information you need down below, all the mods that I installed with RP1, as well as several optional ones that I added in on top of that, mostly just because, well, I like them. And what you're looking at here is what I call my Bell X6 rocket plane. In no ways, it's kind of a Frankenplane, really, to be honest. I'm slapping parts from different vessels together. We'll clean it up and all that kind of stuff a little bit later. It's very loosely, and I mean very loosely, based on the actual real-world X15. I don't even know if I can say that. It is my own abomination that I put together, but it does have a goal. Its goal is, well, two goals, really. One is to succeed on this contract, to hold a speed of 2,000 meters per second or above 2,000 meters per second at an altitude below 40 kilometers and hold that for 2 minutes. That's number one, and of course, come back and land safely. Goal number two, and I don't have the room to select that contract, but it's also a contract that I need, is to crack the Karman Line, reach an altitude of over 100 kilometers with Kerbal. And I'm hoping that this plane can do both of those things. It has the X15 cockpit. The X15 cockpit is vacuum rated, so we can get it into space and without killing our pilot. As well, it has much higher heat tolerances than my old X2 cockpit, so getting to speeds like 2,000 meters per second shouldn't result in it blowing up. Emphasis on the word shouldn't. You never quite know what will happen with this sort of thing. At the back end here, we have the XLR25 engine, and providing significantly more oomph than the previous X-planes that you've seen in this series. And I guess it has a tertiary mission as well, which is to collect science. It can collect crew reports if it can get itself over 40 kilometers, which actually isn't an issue. And I've collected all the crew reports I can over the ocean, so I'm going to be launching this one over the land, specifically over the continental United States, and hopefully getting some more crew reports. It can also collect hypersonic science. Do I have that aboard? I do. Why don't we start both of these so that they'll just go automatically? That would seem to make some sense. That is collected when you're going over 1,500 meters per second at an altitude below 40 kilometers. And maybe I have, with a question mark, planetary photography. You can do planetary photography over different it's a biome specific one, and maybe, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. That's way down the road. But anyway, I want to continue to work on this thing. One thing I did at the conclusion of the last episode is tried to balance the thrust with the mass a little bit better. We'll see how that goes. I got another thought that I want to get to as well. And by the way, I'm mentioning last episode. If you want to link to the last episode before this one, you will see it up here towards the top right. But I do have other things going. Hasn't quite begun integrating yet because we're still reconditioning the launch pad, but I have my Atlas Stentor rocket that did its first launch a couple of episodes ago. It is going to try and go for, I do have the contract for that one right here, the first polar orbit. Found out it has enough delta V to get into a polar orbit as well as get into other kinds of orbits, so we're going to go for that. I also have selected this solar powered orbit. I built a payload that meets the requirements, or at least I think meets the requirements of this satellite. It's got to stay up there for over 14 days. I was trying to build a rocket that could do both of these two things. I'm not entirely giving up on being able to do that. We'll see. But that's also in the cards. Probably you won't be seeing that this episode, but that is my engineers are cranking away on that. But anyway, let's close some of these windows. And let's take a look at one of the things with this plane I want to deal with. Now, I was getting these electricity warnings every time I tried to simulate it, saying that it was giving, had way too many electricity aboard. I kept getting the warnings fairly repeatedly. And what I did is I simply took the electric charge, there's a lot of electric charge in this X15 cockpit, up to 14.4 megajoules. That's a ton. And I was just taking that and I was just turning it down, and I was still getting the warnings. And then people were pointing out to me that you are actually not removing batteries when doing this. You're simply not charging them up very much. So that means there's a lot of weight of batteries, at least this is what I was being told, up at the front, which makes some sense, because one of the things I was really having some issues with, it could be connected to this or maybe not, I don't know, is if I take a look at where my center of mass, and this is the wet center of mass, the red one is the dry center of mass when all the fuel is gone. You can still see there's a torque issue, we'll get to that too. This dry center mass was way forward, and that's part of the reason why I tried to concentrate a lot of the fuel mass forward. So that's why this is just an empty cylinder. It's just a structural piece. There's this tank of fuel here. It's also the reason why I shaped these tanks the way I did, so that most of the fuel is up towards here, so that I can get the fuel mass close to where the dry mass was. But what might be a bigger part of the problem is that I got way too many batteries up here, and there's just a ton of mass here. So what I'm going to do, now I haven't looked at this yet, I'm hoping that it's as simple as I'm thinking it is there should be a tank tooling, there's so many buttons, but where you can actually edit the tanks. So I'm just kind of going along here. You do this with tanks all the time. I'll show you what I mean here. This tank UI. I want to see if I have a tank UI that I can actually edit the amount of batteries that are in there. So what is it under in this one? Tank UI is under real fuels. Is there a real fuels tab? There is. It's up here, and there is the tank UI. Okay. So what I think I need to do, actually I can put in not monopropellant, but the fuel for the, okay, is I want to update this. Yeah. And what I want to do, so you see right here, this still says 14,400, that's kilojoules. And you can see that's this here, 14.4 megajoules. That's still there. So there's still all of those batteries aboard. And what I'm hoping is if I reduce this down to something sane, like maybe 100 or 200 kilojoules, let's try that. So let's put in, honestly, like, I don't know what I guess I can look at this here. Let's look at what the electrical requirements are. Right now, there's enough electricity to run for 8 hours. This thing will never fly for 8 hours. What happens if I put in, go away. What happens if I put in 100? So I'm looking at two things. Number one is how long will, oh, that's the water. Okay, 41 minutes. Maybe that's probably about right, but so 41 minutes. So let's put in 1,000 to see what that does. So I want to look at this duration of electric charge, but I also want to see if this dry center of mass moves. If I put this down to 1,000, 1,000, update. So that's down to 28 minutes. I'm not sure this moved. I was hoping this might deal with some of the mass issues that I've been having. Let's put this back to what it was. Let's look at the mass number here. It's 9.8 tons, and it was like 14.4, I think. Update. Okay, it's not changing the mass. Interesting. Maybe it's not reflected yet. Okay, let's go back to 1,000. Oh, 14.4 is not much. Dope. 14,400 kilojoules, which is 14.4 megajoules. Yeah, it's not being reflected here, but it might not be updating yet. I find sometimes you hit update. I don't know. Let's just Let's put in our 1,000. Let's actually fly this. So update that. Okay, tank UI. Down, down, down. Close, close, close. Close that. Close that. Okay. I didn't see the mass here change. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed. I was hoping that the mass would change with that. I do have still a torque issue. A torque of 8,373. Oh no, yeah, Newton meters or 8 kilonewton meters. And with the dry mass, it's a little better. Are they both in this? They are both in the same direction. So this thing wants to tilt up, which is what I was experiencing. So what I need to do is move the engines further north, further up. So take the shift off. I want to do this, or the snap off. So that's bringing that down. Let's find the dry center mass. Let's do this to the point where that arrow begins to flip. Or at least it's down to nothing. There, it flipped a little bit there. Now what's the wet center mass? Much better. I want to try and, I guess, split the difference between these two. I think I'm fussing with... Okay, so now it flips. Right? Yeah. Okay, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. We'll see what that's like. Oh, I don't like how this is clipping. We'll fix that later. In fact, I can see that part of the engine model is actually clipping out of the top. There's a pipe up here. So I'll have to try to aesthetically see if I can somehow deal with that. But for now, that's not something that's neither here nor there. The other thing I want to take a look at is these landing gear here feel really too big. So I'm going to tweak them down a little bit. I'm pretty sure, yes, there is a scale here. They're at 0.75 right now. That's too small. Let's try 0.5. Oh, 0.5 is the bottom. That's too small. 0.6 maybe? And again, I'm just eyeballing this. But that will help to reduce the mass. And then... Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. I want this thing to be pitched forward when it is on the runway. So I'm going to take this landing gear and just kind of tuck it up a little higher. So it's higher than the rear landing gear. And if it disappears into the fuselage, that's actually a good thing, because that might help with it not getting too hot. All right, let's see what she does. So we're going to save this, and we're going to simulate. At least I didn't get that electricity warning that time. We're going to ignore this. Let me think. We're going to open this up. I'm also finding that once I get above a certain altitude, I'm much better off using more space type of stuff like Smartass from McJeb to deal with things. I also have... Let's get the contract out. And we'll watch this too. This is the Bell X6. Okay. So, I'm hoping, well, you know, to me the final test is how well does it fly. So we'll take the gear down. We'll open up. This thing will be air launched from, you know, it's dropped from a B-52 Super Fortress bomber. I'm going to go to the north and east. Let me get it. No, northwest of the Kennedy Space Center. So I'm going to put in 315. That's directly northwest, and we want the plane pointing opposite to that, which is 135 degrees. And I found this we way overshot the runway, so I'm going to let's get this to, we'll go up in increments of 100. Let's try 500 kilometers away from the Kennedy Space Center, or Cape Canaveral. It's not called Kennedy Space Center at this time. And we'll try this out. So launch. Yes. And Z, 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 Z. Come on. There we go. We've rendered, and we should be going. Takes a bit for those motors to... There it is. Oh my god, that was more than just a bit of spool up time. Now let's pitch up. Ooh, it does not want to pitch up. I'm also debating, like, these guys I kind of just slapped on here. I might try and turn these into more proper looking elevators. Okay, we're starting to pitch up now. I'm hard up on the pitch, as you can see. Let's let it settle down and pick up some speed. So a little nose heavy still. Didn't even look at where the lift was after I made those changes. Alright, we're picking up speed. I'm gonna go for... Let's go for the crude ones. This guy, this hypersonic one, which is to be below 40 kilometers but going at 2,000 meters per second for 2 minutes. So I am going to keep an eye on that apogee and make sure that's okay. We can also take a look. You can see how hard it's pitching up just to keep this attitude. So it's a little nose heavy. Might want to be seeing what we can do about that. Bring the lift a little forward or somehow make the mass back. But where this thing really ran into problems is when the fuel started getting very low. Okay, I'm now again pitching up hard, and this is good. I think I need to work on these elevators too. I am pitched up super hard. Let's try a little RCS on this. See if that'll help, but it's not helping too much. It is leveling off whether I like it or not. So we definitely need to do something about that. Again, I'll show you here. Pitched up hard. Stomped on the S key. Maybe this will get better as we get more speed. Our apogee's hitting 36 kilometers. I want to keep that below 40. Maybe this will work out naturally all right as it is. Yeah, we gotta do some play. It is still too front heavy, nose heavy as it were. It's also using up a lot of fuel. But I think we're going to start losing altitude pretty soon, whether I like it or not. So I got me a feeling. Yeah, you can see here now we're going down. I don't know. Let's see what happens. We got to hit 2,000 meters per second. I'm still just pitched up hard. Oh no, I still got the RCS propellant. But we're going to be running out of fuel. I can get back to the trick of putting on some boosters on this thing to help it get to altitude. I don't think that's stupid. The nice thing about this engine is it has much better throttle control than the previous one does. The other one, the previous XLR 11 series motors, you can throttle at 100. It was basically, well, we ran out of fuel anyway, so that didn't work. Let's get back. Actually, no. Let's keep the coast. Let's keep this going. Let's keep this going. I want to try and cruise. Oh my God, 25. Oh my God, I got the S key stomped. That's my problem. 25 kilometers. Another 0. Keep the heading and just engage that. Hopefully that'll all be okay. We'll try and see if we can level this off on its own. Practice its gliding. Okay, we've lost our heat bar, so that's good. I don't think RCS is doing anything. Let's lose that. Let's put on our waypoint. Just losing speed here. I haven't even deployed flaps or anything. I think the speed's fine. Let's get down 10 kilometers. There we go. And let's deploy brakes and flaps. That probably could use some work too. There's our target. We are... Oh, you know what? Take the brakes off. Flaps up. We're going to have trouble just making that. So we're a little too far away this time. A lot of it depends on what the mission profile is going to be like. Let's lock to that waypoint. See what this thing is like as a glider. Again, you can see how hard it's pitching up. I'm not sure, like when I put on these elevators, you can see there's, I basically grabbed the rudder from my old X series plane and just put on three-way symmetry. So you can see that here. That's what I did. I thought maybe it was a little more like rocket fins for the ascent, but I'm not sure I did myself any favors. I might want to move these, make them more traditional elevators. Also make the actual control surface bigger, I think might not be a bad idea. I'm also thinking I might run into, well, we'll see. But I'm hoping maybe that, well, probably balancing the lift might be my first plan. That can come out. We can also, I should have a fuel valve in here somewhere. There it is. We can deploy and lose any excess propellants. Which there's more than I would have guessed. Quite a lot more. Where is it draining this stuff? Oh, there's HTP. Interesting. I know why. Oh no. Got excess HTP. Maybe I need to reconfigure some of these tanks. I am very much worried I'm losing way too much. I'm losing too much speed, so I'm going to go down more quickly. Okay, contract clearly is not relevant anymore. Oh wait, that's that button. What is it telling me about electric? I got 24 minutes of electric charge left. I've yet to land this. The last time I came down, I ended up ditching it in the water. Oh wait, whoa, not 10. Darn it. 300 meters. So let's see if we can put it down on land. We're about 100 kilometers shy of the KSC. Let's put the brakes on. A little bit of flaps. I want to slow down now. Maybe a lot of flaps. No idea how hilly this is going to be around here. Typically, like we are over the, right? Like typically it's all pretty flat. Yeah. It's all pretty flat around here. Okay, it feels like we're going really fast, but I am at 3 times speed. Starting to see the palm trees down there. Leveling off, going to standard fly-by-wire. This is not doing anything for me. Okay, deploy landing gear. So this is my first attempt to actually land. Okay. So we'll just level off here, and I want to be slower than this. Avoid the cactus. Okay. Take the brakes off and parachute arm. I don't know. This is the first time I've used the parachute too. And it's not deploying, so we'll have to look at that. And we're down. Okay. That went all right. That went all right. It was really like around 90 meters per second. It was really starting to ignore that. That's nothing. All right, let's end the simulation. Yeah, once it got around 90 meters per second, it was coming down. Oh, we have wackiness happening here too, so I'll have to figure out what to do with that. It's auto doing something. Can I adjust that? Okay, let's pin that one. Pin that one. I think there is a fairing auto shape off. Okay, now close this. Base. What's the diameter of that one? 1.1. So let's keep that base. No, it does say 1.1. Okay, top. Fairing auto shape it off. Oh boy. Okay, that's... I want it 1.1. It really doesn't want me closing it around that motor. You know what? Screw it. Doesn't matter. That's a for later fix. Let's look at where our masses are and where our lift is. Yeah. So I need to bring the lift further forward. That's probably the best and the simplest solution to that. Well, I can make these wings wider, which might not be a bad plan. Let's start by doing it simple, just simply moving them forward. It's better, I guess. Now it's clipping into here. Oh, I so don't like it. Well, one thing at a time. Make it pretty later. I honestly feel like bringing it even ahead of where the wet center of mass is, because it's so little time there. Let's try it. Let's try it. The endless tweaking of planes. All right. You know, it's funny, I grabbed these wings from a different plane, but I'm not sure I'm going to be... I got a feeling I got to start changing their shape, and I really think I didn't do myself any time favors by doing that. Save, simulate. Okay. Oh, now it's a little bit... If you take a look at this, where it's sitting on the runway, the mass... I move these wings forward. They're forward of at least where the wet center of mass is. I'm not sure about the dry. It's the dry that's important. I didn't even look to where it's on us, so we'll see. Let's open up contracts again. The crude one, again the hypersonic one, aircraft pilot thingy. Open up McJeb, and on the off chance that this becomes relevant, we'll do that. Hey, you know, it's one thing that didn't happen. This is the first plane where it was actually pitching down on me, not pitching up last episode, it was always up. That was the issue. Now it's down that's the issue. So maybe that's a step in the right direction. Okay. Let's go to 400. I can't remember what I had it at before. Let's go with 400 and try that. Whoa, 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 whoa. That pitched up very... Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so I do have the... I got to be careful because the lift is actually a little ahead of where the center of mass is. So I pitched up hard and it almost flipped over backwards. So be cognizant of that, Aben. It really wants to flip over back. Look at the pitch. Look where the pitch indicator is. But I'm hoping as we lose fuel and that mass moves forward that it won't have to pitch down so much in order to keep this thing. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, now it's really... Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah, I'm... Look at this. There it's gonna... I've lost it. So the lift is too far forward. Oh, I haven't lost it. I'm pitched down now hard as I can. So I gotta bring the lift back. But we're going to proceed. Because even if we end up, like, I don't know, blasting off into space, it'll be a good test of this thing coming back down again. So again, I'm still pitching down as hard as I can. So we are definitely going to be cracking 40 kilometers. But remember, one of the things I do want to do with this thing is cross the Karman line. Okay, I am managing to bring it under some control, I think, maybe. It's getting closer to where that prograde vector is. Alright, we're going to cross 40 kilometers here. Not upset about that. Still pitching down, if I point and show you here. Still pitching down. Oh, whoa, 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 we're getting some control. Let's put the RCS on. Okay. Okay, I don't think this is doing anything for me, so I'm going to take that off and put on just regular stock SAS for now, because this is definitely, the atmosphere is not a huge deal anymore. And what I'm actually interested in, okay, let's pitch up. Still want to build up speed, but I would love to see if I can crack the Karman line. Might need some help for that. Oh, we're getting low on fuel. 70 kilometers. .80-kilometer altitude. I feel like I'm in some semblance of control. 90 kilometers. Oh boy, that's 100. That is the Karman line. I don't think, though, let's put this onto the surface velocity vector. No, I think we got it. We're just sneaked over 100 kilometers, and I don't think, well, I don't know, we'll see. I'm just going to put it onto that prograde vector and try and minimize the drag, but I think I'm going to cross 100. It's not going down that fast. I'm looking at the 0.07, you know, the apogee is going down, but the error, so, like, we're virtually space here. I think we're probably rocketing way over the where the Space Center is. There's the Space Center way down there. We're taking in the view. Well, that's something. It's space. Now, this will be a great test. Can I bring it back down? Let's get this set up. Right now I'm just... Let's try and see if I can get it to level off at 50 kilometers. Okay. Heading 138, I'm fine with that. Here, I'll put it on there. The master switch is still off, so that's all. And we'll put it on the cruise flight controller. That's probably what I want to take over next. So we're coming down. I'm going to take this off of here and just use that and try and see if I can kind of belly flop a little bit, because we're coming in hot. There's no question about that. I don't want to come down. Just try and kind of keep it horizontal. I'm trying to minimize heating on the way down. So we crossed the Karman line. This would satisfy that contract I don't have selected. The capstone contract of the X-Planes. I think there's something here. We are, of course, picking up speed as we fall. So this is all about... I'm not going to take it right down to the surface. I don't think. Okay, and just keeping it on horizontal. Oh, wait, I should have, like, brakes on. My goodness, brakes on, flaps down. I don't think it really matters. Okay, we're starting to fall a little bit. So I'm going to put on, like, I'm having trouble kind of holding. The air's kicking in. I couldn't hold that horizontal. But what I want to try and see if it'll do for me is just kind of level off at a high altitude. That's the idea. Oh, master switch on. Dope. Okay, make this 35 kilometers. Didn't put on the master switch, so the... Oh, and I don't have cruise flight controller. Good golly, 30 kilometers. Oh my gosh, I never had the cruise control on. Oh, now we're going... We're okay. Okay. We're going into comet mode, so this is less than ideal. It's fighting. I'm turning RCS off. I don't think it's doing too much for us. But to be honest, it's surviving. I got this set for 30 kilometers, so it's actually going to do this, and then it's going to pitch up. Wow. Okay, let's set this for 10 kilometers now. Okay, so that was me. Didn't have master switch on. Didn't have cruise flight controller on. But we certainly have slowed down. And look at where that pitch indicator is. It's close to the middle. So that means to me the plane is reasonably balanced. Alright. Alright. Well, as a re-entry test, that worked pretty good. Lift too far forward. Okay, so lift is too far forward. Again, we'll put this on, put this on, put this on, put this on. There may be people, especially RP1 veterans. Okay, let's try that. I just find flying it by feel to be my best test, and I know that takes more time, but just to see what it feels like. There may be RP1 veterans that are wondering, like, you could use all of this stuff that comes from Ferram Aerospace. You can look at these stability derivatives. I think these ones are the more useful ones. You know, when you're up there at like 40 kilometers and you're doing like Mach, I don't know, what is it, Mach 7, whatever it is. And you can look at these numbers, but first of all, I'm not 100% sure what they all mean. I see mostly green. I just find it... I also don't know, is this talking about when it's full of fuel? Is this talking about when it's I suspect it's in its current state as far as the mass goes, but when it gets up to 40 kilometers, it will have lost most of its fuel by then. Do these numbers reflect what it's going to behave like when it's in that state? Well, actually, I can find my own question, can't I? What if I took out most of the fuel here? And recalculate. I guess that's what they expect you to do. Calculates this, so I don't know. I'm just going to go by feel. Ferram Aerospace. I'm going to also... I can turn up the utilization on these. Sorry. Oh, I got the wrong thingy there. There we go. Put some fuel in the wings, for goodness sake. So, fill for the motor, yep. See if that helps. A little bit more fuel. I was doing that to try and keep the mass down. But maybe that's not really necessary. I'm also like, I don't know, there was a funny distribution of propellant, so I'm also going to try just remove tanks and then refill them again. Those were all my tanks. This little tank back here is for the RCS. I could remove those tanks and then fill them for the RCS blocks. Alright, let's see what this does. Okay, simulate again. Save it. I gotta get in the habit. Save it every time. I have some issues where I simply just forget to save it, and then, you know, I end up, especially if I come back to it later on a different play session, and then the next thing you know, it's like a version that's old. So I gotta save it. Just save the bloody thing. Okay. Let's set this. No, I don't know what I'm gonna set this to. I'm making this up as I go. But we'll keep that open, keep that open, keep that open. Contracts open. So if I ever do that one crude one, I mean, we crossed the Karman line. I think that's pretty good. And it looked like we were on our way down without dying. So that's good. You got to take these successes as they come. But having a little more control of it at the high altitude would be good. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah. Yes, launch. Span, go. And I know the parachute isn't working. Deal with that. I know this feels better. Not nearly as... Well, now I'm pitched up hard again. But maybe that's what I gotta put up with, right? Well, no, that would... Because the center mass is gonna even move forward. Ah, now it feels too nose heavy. It is such a subtle line. A tiny little line of difference there. You know, now it's nose heavy and I hardly move the wings at all. Well, really wants to, okay, I want to keep an eye on, again, my apogee. So now the wings need to be a little bit forward. I moved them back too far. But one thing at a time. Let's see if I can do the old cruise at 2,000 meters per second thing. Okay, 30 kilometers on the apogee. Still pitching up hard as I can. This is also not particularly energy efficient either. But I'm really convinced I can get this thing to work. And that's what's kind of keeping me going, as it were. Okay, we are just about at 37 kilometers on the apogee, so I probably want to start leveling this off anyway. Okay, now it actually feels really nice. Just flying kind of normal-like. I'm not even... Oh, I don't even have the RCS on yet. Okay, I want to kind of level off here. I don't want to get too high in the altitudes. Too high in the altitudes. Let's get this up to 2,000. Okay, I want to keep climbing, but just a little bit. Pitch up, pitch up, pitch up, pitch up. Nope, now we're going down. Going down, going down, going down. Pitch up. No, now we're going down. It doesn't seem to want to go back up. I'm pitched up as hard as I can. That might have been more a problem of my flying capabilities than anything. She's a little nose heavy. We're getting low on fuel. Fuel can be rectified just with either drop tanks or radial boosters on the side. Yeah, we're not coming back up. I'm pitched up this whole time. We are going to cross the 2,000 meters per second, but I don't see us... Let's reduce throttle here. I don't see us doing this for 2 minutes. And we are getting some heat bars now, but they're not super scary. We just ran out of fuel. Okay, Vert to editor. So... lift masses. So 2 nose heavy at a time. Just get it like so it's almost right there, like there. I guess I moved it back further than I thought I did. Alright, save, simulate. Okay. Contracts. It's the hypersonic one. And yeah, I guess we'll just gear down. Let's just get the cruise flight control ready. And lordy, what am I doing? Open that and launch it. Okay, pitching it up. All right, again, hard pitched up, but pitch indicator's not that high. Okay, and it's holding its attitude right here. Oh, that's probably because of these craft setting numbers. Yeah, we're moderating the angle of attack. Let's turn that off. Moderate G's, for goodness sakes. I didn't even notice that. Don't moderate the angle of attack. She lets while this is climbing. Let's look at those craft. Well, then again, I got to be careful because if you're every time it just reverts, right? But in my X-plane ones, yeah, this is okay. Wasn't on the X-plane one. Fine. What are we doing? How are we doing? 22 kilometers on the apogee. Picking up speed. More up. Whoa! Do not even think of flipping over. Ah, I'm getting some sluies. wants to all of a sudden just get a little lateral stuff happening here. Let's don't do that. Okay. Sort of back on it, getting a little bit of oscillating going. A little bit of oscillation happening here. We are definitely picking up speed, but I want to get higher altitudes here. Okay, let's put on RCS, see if that kind of it does temper things a little bit. Okay, 32 kilometers on the apogee. $35 kilometers, starting to level off a little bit. 36 kilometers. 37 kilometers, leveling off. Okay. This time I don't want to go down, though. That's what happened. That was my mistake. Really got to watch this. Watching lots of things, really, to be honest, but that rate of climb, you want to keep it under some... You do not want this to get too low. Come on. Up, 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 up. Up, 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 up. Don't go negative on me. Don't you dare go negative on me. Up, up, up. Up, 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 up. Okay. Oh, really wants to go down. Pitch up. Pitch up. Okay, there we go. Just about 38 kilometers. I don't like this huge angle of attack that I have, though. Go to here. Yeah, it's... Might need larger RCS blocks in the back. That might help. I don't know. I'm getting low on fuel. Am staying below 40 kilometers reasonably successfully. 1.7 kilometers per second for the speed. And getting closer to that prograde vector, which is good, so the angle of attack isn't so high. Okay, reducing throttle. I want to keep it just above... There we go. We're above 2,000. And I'm flying. Really low on the throttle. Almost no throttle. We're going down, but maybe that's not bad. We're out of fuel. Be honest, it felt much more balanced. Here, let's set this for 30 kilometers, see what it does. Put that on. And, yeah, there we go. See if it can level off. And what I really want to look at is what this pitch indicator does. Can it just go at a stupid speed at 30 kilometers and just kind of hold it? So pitch up, you dinker. Pitch up, pitch up, pitch up. There you go. No, it's still X-planes. It seems to want... Oh, I think that comes on automatically if you put on the cruise flight controller. It's going to moderate the angle of attack whether you like it or not. It can't pitch up hard enough. Did I do? Oh, I put on 3,000 kilometers, you big dork. You know, it's hard to do adequate tests when you put in the wrong numbers. It was just maintaining a descent angle of 10 degrees. That's all it was doing. Now it's actually literally trying to pitch up. It's doing okay. Okay, put it in 20 kilometers. RCS is doing nothing. Stop that stuff. I'm not sure I need to balance it any better. But maybe some external rockets might not be a terrible idea. I think this thing can hold it. If you recall, with my X4 plane, I think is what I was doing it with. I was putting on old sounding rockets, just basically as loud as external boosters on this thing. They look like just giant missiles, and getting it up to speed. But the problem is when it got up to speed, the old X2 cockpit just blew up. This guy shouldn't have that issue. Okay, let's see. Let's get it back to editors. I think balance-wise, I'm kind of okay with this. I think what I might need to do is just put on some external boosters. But what I kind of want to do at this point is just see if I can just clean this up a little bit. So, first of all, this wing. Not happy. I don't like the fact that these flaps or whatever they are, can't remember if those are the flaps or the spoilers, but whatever, I don't want them clipping into the tank. So can I move this outwards? I can, but then I start to get that issue. So what happens? I mean, clearly I want to fill this in, this little... I could just get another piece in there. Maybe that might be the simplest thing. I was thinking of making the wing longer. But what might just be the simpler solution is to put a piece in here and just match it. This I can kind of live with. What's it like on the bottom? Yeah, there's floaty bits. So what I'm thinking of is just attaching a piece in here just to get rid of the floaty bits, if you know what I mean. All right, let's, oh, and I also got to fix this back end. I don't know what's going on with this. I might need to, all right, let's start with coloring. So let's take all of this, all the balls away. Let's copy, let's open up the coloring GUI. Let's store this pattern, and then we'll apply that to these other tanks. Oh, that's the pattern. I guess I gotta still do the color. Or is that just... Oh wait, open coloring GUI. I think that's just the pattern. Yeah, okay, so let's go to here. Okay, let's do this one, do the pattern too. I got to do the pattern and the colors. Oh, that one did fine. That's it. I don't know if I hate that. I honestly don't know if I hate that. Let's go to this one. Open the coloring GUI. Store that pattern. Go to here. Open the coloring GUI. And load that pattern. Okay, the blue didn't show up. Okay, then we'll come back to here. What happens if I open the coloring GUI and say store the color, and then go to here, open the coloring GUI, and say load the color. Why is the blue still there? That's interesting. Not the gray that we see here. Load store color. Coloring GUI. Load color. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so what color? I guess it's this color I'm interested in. It really looks like black, doesn't it? So if I go to here, just change that blue to black. Oh. Doesn't seem the right black, does it? And it's not shiny. That's black, black. How many blacks are there? Stock black. Interesting. If I go to this little guy and say, open the coloring GUI. And say, load the color that I stored. So it's just the top. It's not everything. Do you have to do it section by section? Is that how that works? If I go to here, open the coloring GUI, select that, and say, store that color, and then go to here. Open the coloring GUI, and say, load color. I have to click this, and then say load color. Open coloring GUI. Go to here and say load color. Okay, you have to do it one by one. All right, it's not the whole color pattern, or maybe I'm making a mistake not going to the pattern. I don't know. Let's try it on this elevator. So again, open that up, store pattern. See, I would say storing pattern is like the whole, not just the single color, the whole McJob. And in here, open the coloring GUI and say low pattern. But it's just the yellow. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Open the coloring GUI. Dummy. Load pattern. I didn't hit open the coloring GUI. Open it. There we go. Okay, you do it section by section. This says yellow wall load. I am so deluxely confused by this right now. Why did that back go yellow? Okay, I'm not. Okay, that window. Open color. There we go. There we go. Low pattern, low color. It doesn't seem to really matter. Go to here, open the coloring GUI, select that black, and store that color. Then we go to here, load. Okay. Oh wait, open. All right. I'm honestly not hating this not being. I might come up with something better there. The color scheme's okay, but we'll stick with it for now. I don't think there's anything I can do with these gear. I don't think they are colorable. No. Oh, there's an align wheel. Oh, I didn't mean to push that. Maybe that wasn't bad. Align wheel to ground. I think it probably makes them just perfectly forward, which I don't know. If you've played with the stock landing gear, when they're not quite online and trying to get them back can be a major pain. Okay, there's this. Now here's where I got to figure out what I'm going to do with this bit that's coming up here. And I could just put like just a little bit of an aluminum kind of bump on this. But I also want to fix this. Now I could just abandon the whole fairing thing. Toggle that, open it. Oh, I also got to fix the parachute. Oh, where is the parachute? There's a good question. That might explain a lot. Where is the parachute? Parachute there you are. Okay, that explains a lot why that didn't deploy. Let's just stick here for now so I just don't forget it. Okay, that is the fairing. This is the fairing base. I do have the auto shape, maybe auto shape struts, maybe auto shape everything needs to be off. Oh wait, that's the size of the base of the... Oh my god, what'd I do? That's 1.1. There we go. But I don't think it'll let me make the... Oh wait, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I think. No. Wants to expand that out. Won't let me make that any smaller. I could just kind of fashion, just abandon the whole fairing idea and just fashion something out of a structural piece, which might not be dumb. It just made it really easy to get to where the parachute was. But let's... This is the way it's going to be. Oh, I'm going to have to recenter that. I did not think of that. Okay, well, one thing at a time. If I get into structure... And again, I make it into a cone shape. A hollow cone. Make the outer diameter 1.1. Make the inner diameter right up to it. This can go... there. Now I can justify, because this is hollow, right? So I can justify having a lot of the motor inside there. And this utilization is way down low too. So I can say, okay, the tank, the propellant for the RCS is like in a donut. That's my justification for being able to say that I can take this motor and I can just slide it in so it kind of looks right. Like that type of thing. Go away. Now I know I'm going to have to balance this business again. And I did it just till it flipped, if I recall. Like that. And then if I go to this one. Oh, they're going the same way. That again, bring it down a bit. That's as good as you're going to get it, I think, ever. Okay, we're going to leave that. Okay, and now I'm going to take this piece. We're going to shorten it. Oh, it's taken the whole motor with it. Slide the motor out. See, I don't mind the whole nozzle business sticking out the back end. That looks a little badass, I think. This is... Oh, I went to a hollow cylinder, a hollow cone, you big dingle door. Top is 1.1. Maybe this is the bottom. Oh, I'm going with the inner. Stop being there. And inner and bottom diameter. Outer down. Give it kind of a shape. And inner. Oh my God, I cannot push buttons today. Wow, I think I've solved a lot of stuff here. Do I still have the right? I'm not sure if that motor moved. No, it didn't. It's got to go up. I thought it moved on me. Okay. With that. So the outer diameter on this has to go a little bigger. And the inner to match. Sometimes I won't let it go. Okay, I can go maybe a little bit smaller. I might just live with this. I keep getting that stupid little window. Go away and leave me alone. There we go. I keep middle. Oh, it's like perma stuck. There we go. Now what I want to do is just cover up this little bit of pipe. So I'm thinking of just getting another structural piece. What shapes do we kind of make it flat on? I don't know if I can make it flat on one side. Probably looks like a hollow. I want to hollow something. Hollow cylinder, hollow cone, a hollow. That probably might be my best bet. I don't know what that is. Truss shape. So make the outer part pretty small. Ideas. Let's abandon the hollow. Just go with a smooth cone because I got the offset option with this. This might help. Bring the top way down. Bottom way down. Like to 0. Top down. Offset it. That's a little much. This, rotate that 180 degrees. replace the whole thing again. It's being a bit of a peckerwood. Or maybe better idea is putting it at the back. Let's see. Yeah. Oh no, that'll probably interfere with the engine. Ah, I've completely caborked this. Just wants to go inside things. Just trying to stick it on radio. Okay, let's start again. Start again. I borked that. Okay. What you do for aesthetics here? Okay, cone. Yes, cone I want. I want the bottom down to 0. Oh no, smooth cone. Dope. There we go. Still bottom down to 0. Top down to something very small. Fiddle with the offset so that one side is... Nope. So it's relatively flat on one side. Okay. Turn it 180 degrees. Make sure the snap is on. That's the mistake I made before. So it actually can be 180. There. Switch to here. Drag it up. Snap off. Slider forward. The purpose of this is simply to see if I can cover up. Okay, it needs to be longer. Oh, I'm not sure I'm getting what I want. I don't know about you, but I find sometimes moving the camera around here so hard. What if I just slid it down a little bit? Okay, it needs to be a little wider. You know, if the pipe comes out and looks like it goes into something, I don't think that's necessarily bad. Why don't we call it that? This off for a sec. Okay. Come a little bit forward. Okay. And then what we're going to do is put another one of these right on the nose of this. If it'll manage to click there for me. It did. Okay, that has on the top 200, so this has got to be again a smooth cone. 200 on the bottom. 0 on the top. Do a little offsetting. Can it let me go the other way? There we go. It's not interfering with the actual rudder. A little longer. Maybe a little less. Yeah, kind of like a little bump, like there's sort of some kind of plumbing structure in there. I don't think that's terrible. And we can do some coloring again. Open the coloring GUI. I'm going to actually make this one that gray color if I can. To differentiate the tank a little bit, so we're going to grab that color, low color. Oh, what did I do? Oh, that's the same gray as everything else now. Oh, I see what I did. Okay, then go to here. Here and load that color. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And then, you know, I'll keep that the same thing. Open the coloring GUI, go to here, Load that color. So it's just sort of gray out the back. I can deal with that. And same with this. So that's sort of, I don't think that's terrible looking. This nose cone then's the wrong. The wrong black. That's right. I was trying to match what's at the front here. That's more like it. Okay, let's close all this business. All right. It's a thing. I will say that. I'm still not sure about the color on those, but I shouldn't be all fussy about that. I wanted to fix the wings, so we're gonna get a supersonic airplane part. Procedural wings, supersonic. And the purpose of this is actually, if I can manage to pull this off. No, they're gonna want to go there. Okay. I was hoping to stick it on the end. I'm not sure it will. Maybe it will. I'm so bad at guessing this structure. You know, what might work better then is to actually get a. Okay, that's the wing, but to get a supersonic control surface and just will take off all the. But if I can stick that. No, that won't work. I'm wrong. I need a supersonic wing. That's not what I want. That's kind of what I want. Now let's play with the shape here a little bit. So this guy has, take the handles off. Thickness at the root of 0.228. So this one, 0.228. People can kind of see what I'm trying to do here. I could have just typed that in, by the way. Can't you? 0.22. Oh dear, that was a mistake. I thought I could type that in. I keep hitting on the engine and getting, okay. J on you. Okay, I know what I did wrong. You have to hit the little number guy, silly Billy. 0.228. That did not work. 0.228. There. Get back down there. This is obviously on some sort of funky angle, which I don't want. Trying to grab the blue one. That. Okay, like this. Not quite what I'm shooting for in terms of shape yet, but I'm just trying to get this base to kind of click on there right. If it'll want to rotate the right way for me, there we go. And a little bit in. And okay. Okay, now I don't... Okay, the length of it I can see I need to come more this way. So if I open up that one... this is the width at the root is 1 point... Let's put on the numbers. Numbers. There we go. 1.593. Let's copy that. See if that works. Okay, and now we'll go to this guy and go J. It says the same thing. Nope, now it's not. Okay. Control V. Oh, yeah. Kind of worked, I think. Oh, yeah, now I just need to slide this all back. Oh, I know. I need to change the shape at the bottom. The shape at the bottom, the trailing edge, needs to be... Why is it like this? Needs to be just flat. No edge, that's it. Okay, and now it needs to be much shorter in length. But then much more width at the tip. Probably maybe even grab the bar and just kind of do this. Now it needs to be longer. Okay, and then the width at the tip needs to be wider. No, thickness at the tip. So it looks kind of like a continuation of that wing. That's what I'm shooting for. A little longer. So it kind of just goes into the fuselage like... Oh, why? Oh, the width at the tip needs to be much shorter. Now I can see that. So it's the offset I got to play with. Other way. Okay, what does it look like on the bottom? Why is that not two-way symmetry? Okay. Just notice that. I don't have it happening on the other side. I'm annoyed. But maybe we can still make that work. Okay, that all looks pretty good. J. Maybe a little wider at the tip. And then bring down the offset a bit. Honestly, I think that's as good as it's going to get. I'm just annoyed now that I had it on one-way symmetry that whole time. So let's see if we can do this. So I got to grab it. This is going to go bad. Oh. Yeah, I knew that. So I got to try and place this again. But, I mean, that's all doable. There we go. Okay. And slide this back. Slide it down a little bit. Slide it out. can see it's got to get rotated. I can see there's a funky slot here. Still a funky slot. Back in. Maybe time to leave well enough alone. Okay. I think so. Calling it now. Let's open up the coloring GUI on this. I can't remember. I think that forward leading edge. I think I have that gray color loaded. That's what I'm going to do. So load color. Yep. Now, do I want this gray? No, probably. Go to here. Coloring GUI. Grab that one. Store that color. Go to this one. Coloring GUI. Grab that. And load the color. Oh, that's not what I was shooting for. That one. Store color. That one. That one. That one. Load color. There we go. I think she looks tolerable. Now, parachute. That's another thing I got to fix up. I'm just kind of looking around. Seeing, let's give it a save. Probably lose the NASA logos. You know, the previous ones, why don't I stick to the same pattern? I think I can select. Yeah, what I had on there before, on all the other X-planes, let's just keep it consistent, was this Explorer thing. Yeah, I like it. Why can I never rotate the way I want the first time? It's always the third time. Okay. Alright, let's fix the parachute. Single symmetry, snap on. Hopefully I can get this to be in a good spot. Now what we're going to try and do, first of all, show this and let me go through all this. I think I can just probably apply settings. No spare chutes. It is a drag chute. Oh my god, I do not want to go through all this again. I think it's all fine on the defaults. Just apply the settings. That. They succeeded. Good. And then I'm going to try and put this in a position inside here where it won't get fouled up on stuff. We'll see how she does. Pull it forward a bit so I can see it. Like that. All right. Where are all our... hopefully not too much of all of this nonsense has changed. It feels like the wings are now too far, way too far forward. Something moved. Oh, probably in fiddling with these fairings, I probably did something different here. Yeah. And I got this piece on here too. Let's move the wings back. We're definitely going to need to give this another test go. Okay. I just realized as well as I could put additional fuel in this. What is the... Well, Let's see what happens. TWR right now at launch is 0.72. If we put the utilization of this piece up and fill for something. Why do I not have the option to fill it? It doesn't see the motors. Oh, this one doesn't have it either. There's no fuel in this. There is no fuel in this. Hang on, hang on, hang on. Does this have to be a high pressurized tank? No, it's not. That one's not high pressurized. Why? Do I have to take it off of here? Oh, now I got it. Okay, so I have to put that onto fuselage. Fuselage. Oh, this changes things. Okay, okay, hang on. Fill. I thought I had fuel in these and I never did. Fill. Okay. Don't know if I did a good thing or a bad thing. I did lots of things. 0.68 now. Lift and mass are not terrible, but I got a lot more fuel aboard. Okay, might need to adjust the torque a little bit. Oh, it's the other way. I like going the other way. Okay, let's leave that. All right, let's save this and give her another go and see what happens. So a lot of changes were made there. Still not sure if I'm happy with this color. I might go with more stripies and things, but you know, like I've always said, you gotta make it at least look okay. So let's simulate. Doesn't quite look like the Frankenplane that it once was. So Shift P and P contracts. I'm gonna once again try for that 2,000 meter per second hypersonic dealie. That honestly seems to be more of a challenge than the crossing the Karman Line, which we did by accident, I will add. Put this on. Craft settings. Load the X-plane. So no moderate angle of attack. Just like that. I think she's pretty good. Landing gear off. And launch it. Yeah. It's a hesitation. Okay, pitching up. Okay. Whoa, be a little careful. That center lift is very close to the center mass right now. Okay. It feels almost like I have too much wing here, but I do want to have all these control surfaces, so we'll put up with it. Pitching up. Get to altitude, so we're gonna go for again the 2,000 meters per second for 2 minutes. Got to be below 40 kilometers. We'll see how she goes. And I'm hoping I'm closing in on this. Now I still got parts to unlock. I still got all kinds of stuff to do. This thing's and it's still got to get built. So this thing's still got. I'm seeing the yaw going way over. I don't quite. I'm not quite a fan of that. So this thing's a long way from actually doing a mission. But we'll see how she does. The extra fuel mass, I think, is not going to hurt. That's the first. I thought I had the fuel mass in there before. It's getting up there. So who knows? Maybe it can do this without getting into side rockets and all that kind of business. Closing in on 28 kilometers on the apogee. I'm just going to let this kind of keep building the way it's going. Very much in control so far. Knock on wood. Knocking on wood. Heavy, 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 heavy knocking on wood. Okay, I'd like to actually build up. Let's put on the RCS. Oh, I'm pitching up now as hard as I can. It wants to pitch forward again. Wants to pitch forward again. I don't like that. So that means the lift has got to come forward. I can deal with that. Yeah, it's really, 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 really wanting to pitch forward. Still quite a lot of fuel, though. Much more fuel, I think, than I've normally had at this stage of the game. So wings have got to come forward. I don't think I'm going to be able to keep it from... Yeah, it's going to start to descend soon. I'm pitched up as hard as I can, but I don't think I can keep it from this. Okay, let's revert back. Okay. Again, we're looking at that and looking at this. Well, I'll listen to what I felt, which was it needs to go forward. So I'm gonna pitch this a little, not much though. Maybe about there. Give that a go. Okay, save that. Simulate. I was just thinking as well that it might not be a pitch issue. It might still be a thrust balancing issue that keeps coming up. But so maybe the next time, see how this goes, but maybe the next thing to do might be what would be a better idea. Bonk. Is to play with the thrust vector through here. The other thing I could do, I was just thinking, I've been moving this up and down laterally, but the other thing I can do is turn this motor. Maybe that's not a dumb idea. That might have been smarter, in fact, right from the get-go. But whatever, we're gonna stick with what we got for now. We are going to do this. So there, and launch. You know, these ideas eventually occur to me to do things like, why don't I rotate it? There might have been people looking at the screen going, dude, turn the engine. Don't just slide them up and down. That might not be a bad plan. In fact, oh my gosh, now I'm thinking about it. There is an offset vertically between the dry center of mass and the wet center of mass. And I could adjust that thrust vector so it just goes through both of them. Where's that for a thought? And I'm sure there are people screaming at their screens going, dude, turn the engine, rotate it. Yeah. But, you know, I think as well, I have many times the hours in stockish KSP than I do in RP1, and I'm still too used to, I think, having reaction wheels that are so forgiving, you know, in the stock game, where you can be off with your torques like quite a bit, and the reaction wheels go, meh, I can hold this, don't worry about it. And I think that's why I'm kind of lackadaisical when it comes to torque, and it's a bad habit, and it's a bad habit that came in from playing stock for so many years. And maybe that's what's getting me on this one. We'll see. Right now, feels good. Things are feeling good. 28 kilometers on the apogee. Going up and up and up and up and up. Building up speed. But, yeah, the tweaks are going to be coming, that's for sure. Okay, that's okay. You can see the pitch is pointed right at the top. Let's put on that RCS. It can do whatever it can. I'm not sure how much of a help it is. But it's better now. Now, see, now it's starting to pitch forward again. I am just holding it up now with the S key. Just manually, but it again wants to pitch forward. I think this is more a thrust issue than it's a lift issue. Especially up here. We got such thin atmosphere up here. You know what? Let's deal with that right now. Revert back to the editor. Revert back to the editor. So what we want, I can see here that the wet mass and the dry mass, that the wet mass is a little higher than the dry mass is. So what that tells me is this motor should be a little higher, but then just tilt it down, but just a little higher, not a lot higher like it is now. So what we're gonna do, I go to the dry mass. Okay. Ah, shoot, I didn't mean to do that. Let's Control Z that. Let's get the rotate tool. We do a little, this is going to be all very subtle, so I think what I need to do is just rotate this downwards. Now this might make it worse, it did, but then what I'm going to do is take the translate tool and move that down till that's better. Oh, move it up? Really? See, I wouldn't. Why don't I look at that vector there? It's a better indicator than the circle. Okay, that's pretty close. Now, how does it look like with the wet center mass? Look how close that is, right there. Like, those are very close to each other. The wet one is virtually, I can look at the numbers here, 0 kilonewton meters, and the dry one is just, I'm not even sure if I can adjust it any more accurately than that. So the idea here is that my thrust vector is, I can put the thrust vector on, for goodness sakes, but that the thrust vector has a teeny tiny angle to deal with the teeny tiny angle here. Now, to be honest, I think I might have rotated it a little bit too much. Let's keep playing with this a little bit. Okay, now we'll go back to this. I don't know if this is up or down. Up is worse. Down. Ooh, ooh, that's very close to 0 there. If I go to the wet center mass. I think I should probably not screw with this any further. Yeah. Those were very, very subtle changes with the thrust vector. Very tiny changes. Let's see what that's like. That might have been more to be what was going on than anything. Okay, so we're going to save this. We're going to simulate it. Okay, we're going to close that. Shift P and P. Open that for future reference. Take a look at our settings. Fine with that. Okay. Gear down. And launch ya dinker dong. Okay. Z, 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 Z. Now, the lift is still very far forward, so I gotta be a little careful here. Yeah, it feels okay. Pitch is pretty balanced. Just leave it here for a little bit. Let it pick up a little bit of speed, for goodness sakes. Who knew designing a rocket plane, pushing the very boundary of our technology, would be so fussy. Okay. Again, this yaw business. Don't know what that's about. People that know more about aerodynamics than me, I'm sure, do know what that's about, but I don't know what that's about. Okay, we're beginning to build up quite a bit of speed here. Whoa, 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 don't do that to me. Why do you want to do that? I don't know. Getting a little bit of oscillating going back and forth on the yaw. Probably some fiddly stuff I can do with the PID controller. I don't know if I want to do that. I could just take off the master switch and go to just stock SAS just like so. Not sure if that was a smart decision or a bad decision, but that's the decision that I just made. Like if the PID controller is going to get, to be honest, it was stable. If it actually, the oscillating was working its way out at the time I did that, so maybe that wasn't smart what I just did. Right now, I am stomped again on the S key, pitching up as hard as I can. Let's put on RCS to give a little bit of a help. But it really wants to push forward. Yeah, I think when I took off that master switch, that might have been a bad choice. Because it wants to pitch forward so badly. So badly. What do I put on? I never look at these. Oh, there's aerodynamic forces there. Or where I expect them to be. Okay. Again, really wants to pitch forward. For now, I am still gaining altitude, but I cannot guarantee for how long that's going to last. You can see that rate of climb indicator is really starting to bugger out on me. And I am getting low on fuel again. More tweaking is going to have to happen with this, I can tell. Let's open up the contract. Oh, shoot, that's not a contract. That's a contract. And try and see. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows what wonderful things might still happen here. I try to manipulate. Okay, that's cool. You can stay there. Yeah, we are definitely going down, but we are picking up speed. That's a dangerous combination. But we're not. I'm gonna hit 2 kilometers per second, I think, but I'm not gonna be able to hold it for very long. There, it just ran out just as I hit it. Oh, let's just see what the gliding capabilities are like. So put on that master switch again. See if it'll just hold that. Let's put this at 30 kilometers. And keep the heading and go to cruise flight controller. Smartass, you can come off. Fighting it. Let's put on the brakes. Let's put on flaps. And again, this is just about can we control you? Can I manage the speed? I think the speed part's fine. I really don't. Think that's an issue. It's gonna have trouble holding altitude. So that means lift probably has to come forward. Okay, where by chance is the KSC? We have a... Oh, okay. You know what? Whoa. Let's put this to 300. Let's do the kamikaze dive here. Let's put this to 20. We're going down. RCS off. You're doing nothing for me. Let's lose propellants. And toggle onto the runway. So we are declining. We are coming down. We're coming down. The runway is at an angle of negative 19 degrees. I'm going to go negative 25 like I'm doing. We're coming down, baby. Now, because I came in from the northwest, my angles are not good. I do like how durable this plane is. I mean, that's, I think, an encouraging thing. If I can get these balance issues worked out, maybe simply just bigger RCS blocks at the back. Okay, what are we at? Our angle now is 17 degrees. Let's bring this up to 22 maybe. Again, this is all just a guess, but we're not going to be lined up with the runway properly. I get a lot of comments about going for the space shuttle runway, which is down there too. A lot of comments as well about where I should put this waypoint. I have the waypoint pretty much in the center of the runway. I'm fine with that. I've gotten used to it, so I don't worry about it. I understand there are people that put them like ahead and behind so that they can get their approach vector right and all that business. And you know, yeah, hats off. But I don't care. I just don't care about that business. I just don't. I'll come in and I'll wing it. I haven't killed a Kerbal yet. And like here I'm coming down like a crazy person. And I seem to be all right. Now I can start to see the runway, so I can see I need to come a little bit more towards the south. So what I'm going to do is, what's my heading now? 117. So let's change that to 120, 130. And just put that on heading. So we'll go a little more this way. And we'll use that to try and line ourselves up with the runway. Our angle to the runway is now, okay, we got to come up. So let's try 18 degrees on this. We are still slowing down. We're doing good. I like it. I like it. I do like it. Okay, I can come, I think, a little bit more northwards. Like that. A little down on the flaps. No, a little more on the flaps. Don't want to actually pick up speed. In fact, no, a lot on the flaps. We still got to bleed a lot of this speed out. Angle to the runway yet. We got to make 15. Really got to kind of flatten this out a bit. And then I can look at this and I know when my angle to the runway, with this heading to the runway, when that gets to 90, that means I'm lined up. And then I can just aim at the runway. It works. I'm all fine with that. I'm all fine with that. Let's put this on our radar altimeter. I'm still going awful fast. Awful fast. Then again, the stall speed on this puppy is pretty high. But then again, I think the wings are a little bigger now than they were the last time I tried to put this on a runway. Well, I didn't try to put this on my first time. First time going for the runway, isn't it? Okay, wait. Let's look at this heading. Heading. Let's turn. Let's aim for the waypoint. Okay, it works. Sort of. Okay, what's my speed? Okay, off on the flaps. Off on the flaps. Going to fly-by-wire. I'm in control. More flaps. Just went off with the flaps and then said, no, more flaps, gear. You don't need approach vectors and all that kind of stuff. Just gotta go for it. Just gotta go for it. Alright, so this is my first attempt at this. Let's arm that parachute. Oh dear, that came out a little too early. I should have armed it later, but I'm okay. I'm okay. Okay. Up, 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 up. Okay, we're down. Oh. Okay. Very exciting at the end there, but hey, look at that. Look at that. Okay, so work still needs to be done, but I don't think it's that far off. But I'm looking at where we are at in the video, and I'm thinking this is probably a good time to call it. So next week, gonna keep tweaking this thing. I'm gonna get it to work. What, next week? What am I talking about? Just in a few days, we'll be back at this. I'm gonna get this thing to work. But in the meantime, I want to thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again for the next one.